Peace and Black Power, peace and Black Power. I'm back with Underground Warrior TV. We back with another video, Black people. Tonight, we got to talk about what plagues our community, what stagnates our community, what stagnates us as a people worldwide. See, I'm an international black man. I'm an African, born in America. My ancestors were enslaved by the Western world, the Western nation, America. I put 3 Ks on America because America is ran by the Ku Klux Klan. Whether you want to believe it or not, wizards run America. I'm not talking about Klansmen from the South who wears white sheet over the head. Those days are over with. Klansmen got office. Racist ideologies are in Capitol Hill. Racist ideologies around the corner from your house. So, with that being said, when I mean about racism, racism practiced by the people who are oppressed practice racism against their own people. No matter where you at, as a black man, woman, and child, let me make this clear. I was an African before the slave trade. My ancestors were African. We gotta make that clear that our ancestors were African. And when we got here, our foremothers was raped, so we all are kind of mixed up with different cultures, different races of people's blood run through our veins. We're not the same people anymore. They made us whole different. We have an identity crisis that plague our community, that plague black people worldwide. I'm an international black man. I'm an African. And when I say I'm African, I'm international. We replaced the word original man with African because Africans were the first people to our planet. So when we say original man, we say we are African. So let me make that clear. But black people, as I check out some of these videos and TikTok videos, we not African, Africans criticizing Africans in this country, it's very cowardly because no one has no smoke for the people who put us in these positions to hate one another. You only hate me because someone taught you how to hate black people. We're dealing with self-hate. It's a worldwide problem. You got people in Africa trying to bleach their skin to look more appealing to the white world who set the standards of what beauty is. You see what I'm saying? So when you going online, going out your way to go at Pan-Africans, say disrespectful, harmful things, and when you go out your way to say something about Foundation Black America, Africans of the diaspora, you disrespecting people that you don't even know, you don't know their culture, you haven't even been there. You have not been to Africa. You run into some Pan-Africans that treated you ill and you label all Pan-Africans on that same level. Let me say this and make this clear to my African brothers and sisters in Africa. I don't have an ounce of hate for you. It's not your fault that you were colonized by the Western people, ice people. You have a German education right in Africa. When the Germans conquered parts of South Africa, when the Dutch went into South Africa, when Great Britain went into South Africa, they bought their so-called civilized culture, knowledge, and taught Africans about people that don't identify with them. They taught the Africans about white people. They didn't teach the Africans about Africans. They blotted that out. You can't teach a person that you want subservient to your people. You can't teach them the truth about where they come from and who they are when you're trying to make a slave. Black people worldwide suffer from a self-hate syndrome. Self-hate, a persistent negative thought, intense self-criticism, a harsh inner voice, a tendency to concentrate on personal shortcomings. That is self-hate, because that's all I hear coming from FBA when it talks about black people from Africa. That's all I hear when I hear Africans making statements that we don't got no culture here in America. American culture is black culture. We put the taste to everything. Just like my brothers and sisters in Africa. There's no pyramids in the West fucking with the pyramids in the motherfucking Africa. African empires that they left behind, that they done built for us, universities and shit like that in the ancient times, still stand. There ain't no motherfucking mounds. Only pyramids that stands in America is the ones in South America that the Olmec Africans built, who came to America 1200 BC. 1200 BC. Look up the Olmec. O-L-M-E-C. Olmec people. They was from Africa. They want to tell you they was Indians. They was Mexicans. When they got the top skull experts in that time that went over there and dug up skulls of African men in Mexico. How did skulls get in Mexico of Africans? How did they find African DNA, gold spear heads on the spear? Because we know that Africans are the only ones to fight with gold spears. They found them in South America. The Africans, the original people of the earth. So, the African black people from diaspora and the African people on the continent of the mother country have forged a constant hate for one another. Why? Why you acting out? Why you acting out what the slave plantation owner taught you when they colonized you and colonized your mind? They taught you to hate black people, so you a weak ass nigga if you run around still banging on your own people. You weak as fuck. I heard an FBA lady the other day say Africans are tribal. Niggas are tribal in this motherfucking country. What the fuck is you talking about? See, I'm not taking sides with South Africans, West Africans, North Africans, East Africans against the Africans from the diaspora or these wannabe Indian Negroes. I'm not taking sides with nobody. I'm calling both sides cowards. This bitch nigga shit, excuse my language, it's bitch nigga shit you doing what the slave master taught you. How the fuck can you talk about somebody being asleep? You sleep, I'm watching you. Your actions are vile against another black person. I don't give a fuck if you from Jamaica, if you black like me, you got these big lips, you dark like me, you got that hair like me. We the same motherfucking people. I'm not gonna go out my way to disrespect you. We the same motherfuckers. So when I disrespect you, I'm disrespecting my motherfucking self. Black Foundation America, you look cowardly, always online talking about Africans. I call it immature. I call it weak. We are displaying that we are weak people because we know the colonizers taught us to go against black people. And you can see it, a black conservative in America. Come on, man. How many black conservatives that you know make excuse for white abuse towards the black people of the continent of the world? How many people in Washington, black people in Washington, gonna swing for the black community? How many laws have the black caucus got together and got passed to help black people? That should answer your question right there. Nobody really want freedom. Blacks bickering among themselves don't want freedom. They ain't got no smoke for that Neanderthal who enslaved our people for 500 years. The Indians say he an Indian, but when the police rolled down on him, he treated him like an African. Because the name of the game is to keep black people on the bottom. Because we the sleeping giants. And how in the hell, let me clarify this, America cannot be the motherland. This part of the planet is not the home of man. Stop it. I keep telling y'all about Egypt. The word Egypt is Greek. There's no way America is Egypt. You are mimicking the white man. 3 white masons founded Tennessee and named it after the capital of Egypt, which is Memphis. They equated their Mississippi River as the Nile Valley River. See, the white man that run this country were 33-degree Masons. They constructed the White House to resemble the civilization and the monuments of ancient Kemet, which they call Egypt. Egypt is a Greek name, but you keep calling America Egypt. When you found out that it was a man, black man from America who shared DNA with a king from Africa, you debunked it and said the tomb was found over here in America, in the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon artifacts are African. So that should give you the notion and the realization that Africans was in America. Blue black people were in America before the Siberian migration. These are the people you want to be. When you look at the Eskimo and you look at the Mexicans before they were Mexicans, you looking at the people from Asia that migrated from Siberia. They became what you call the Indian. And after some of those people migrated and the white man came here and killed some of them off, to appease the white man, some of the Indians became slave masters. Red men became slave masters and started enslaving African people. And some of the politicians in Washington started naming these certain Indians the civilized tribe. These Indians became civilized because they had the same focus to undermine the rise of black people. So be careful when you speak it out in public in front of some people you may not know, that you may run into a real scholar who gonna set the record straight. Yes, some of our people have that blood running through their bloodline. I'm not denying that. My great-grandmother was half African and half what you call Native American, but they're not Native American. The African is native to the planet. We're replacing the word original man with the African man, the home of man and mankind. Only in Africa you can find things to the extreme. You've never seen in America, you've never seen in Ireland, you've never seen in the North Pole where they say Santa Claus come from. Only fictitious elves. But in Africa, you can find a whole tribe of little people, pygmy people, the whole tribe looking alike. You can find the tallest people in Africa, a whole tribe that's all tall. You can find blue, black, skinned people. You say black don't exist in Africa. You can find light-skinned Africans in Africa. How is it that we are Indians when a lot of us look like those people from Africa? We don't look like every person from Africa. We look like certain tribes or certain cultures, ethnic backgrounds we share. Like some of us look like Nigerians, but ain't never been to Nigeria. But you call yourself an Indian, but you look Nigerian. So was the Indians from Siberia really Asian black people? Because blacks were in Asia too. I thought that could have been the scenario that black Asians came from Asia into America. When I started doing my research, how did the Mexicans get in here? How did those Asian people get here before the Chinese? How did these other Asians get here before the Japanese? How did the Guatemalan get here? So I started doing my research. How did the fucking Eskimo get here from Siberia? I call it immature, man. We weak people, man. In which I call immature, we are weak. Weak people, according to how our ancestors were taught to hate black people. The teacher wanted to make a subservient people who would do everything in their power to keep us in a position of a slave, a subservient people who would do everything in their power to please the teacher. You pleasing the teacher, nigga. Ninja, you pleasing the teacher. A subservient people would do everything in their power to please the teacher. The slave master, the imperialists, have been black people's teacher for over 500 years. I call it immature. I call it weak for black people to be hating black people in 2025 when you got a live enemy on the planet that you scared to step to. You got no smoke for the people who made you a freak, who made you want to identify with the Siberian race coming up out of the Asian Strait. You feel me? I call it immature. We are a weak people to act accordingly to how our ancestors were taught to hate black people. The teacher wanted to make us subservient people who would do everything in their power to please the teacher, the slave master, the imperialist. Has been the black people's teacher for over 500 years. The systemic mechanism of the slave trade or white supremacy destroyed black people. Ability to love self, the cause and effect. You feel me? The history of being relegated. It's the history of us being relegated to an inferior statue. It's got an ill effect on us, people. So you suffer, Negro. You say you woke, FBA. Africans, you say you woke. Y'all the dead people. Y'all the dead people who keep the slave master in business. I just want y'all to know that. All the conscious people who try to respect black people and unite with black people to throw off the motherfucking adversary on our planet, we trying to unite and do something right. But you say you woke, FBA. Every time I turn around, you making a video disrespecting black people. Who gives a fuck if you say you ain't from Africa? Keep it to your motherfucking self and quit disrespecting motherfuckers. Cause see, it's a shame when this revolution pop, if a civil war pop, black man has to go to war with black people who want to uphold white supremacy. Y'all hold white supremacy by the nuts and caress white supremacy by the nuts. You don't want to rip the nuts off of white supremacy. You don't want to cut the head off of white supremacy. You want to ride the dick of white supremacy by keep bickering with yourself. You bickering with yourself and don't have time to put a plan together and work with people to eradicate your people from this disease up on our planet called white supremacy. You can't put a plan together. Your plan is to undermine the self. You suicidal, Negro. I'm talking to you FBA niggas in America. I'm talking to you Africans in Africa, and you should have a clear understanding with your colonized ass. See, you've been deprogrammed not to be an African. I'm more African than an African in Africa. Because real Africans are warriors. The Africans that I read about was warriors. To St. El Overture was a warrior. African from Haiti was a fucking warrior. Duddy Bootman was a motherfucking warrior that I read about that fought the French. Duddy Bootman fought the Spaniards. These Africans fought back. These real Africans stayed accustomed to the African spirituality. They didn't take on the slave master religion such as Islam, Christianity, Judaism. It wasn't no Bible until the Greeks conquered motherfucking Kemet, what they call Egypt. The books were found in Africa. The Meta were found in Africa. Where's the Meta in America? How is America the homeland of man and it can't even hold 1 billion people? Africa holds over 1 billion people by 2050. The explosion of population of black people around the earth will decimate the white origin of people. White people are dying quicker than they being born. They dying off our planet. Fear of a black planet. So you Negroes keep bickering. We watching this show. Because you ain't got no plan to overthrow the white man. You talking about somebody trying to come and steal reparations. African nations coming to steal reparations from black people. Don't fault the Africans, fault the people paying the reparations. Don't fault the Africans for their inferior information, that slave plant education that was given to them by the enemy. When you gonna go at the enemy? The enemy colonized the African to think French. France conquered the Congo. The Congo people are fucked up because French education. How you gonna give an African a French education and expect this motherfucker to look at other black people with respect and dignity? What you mean we ain't got no culture over here in America? You the majority over in Africa. How is it that your leaders bend over and take a white supremacist penis and fuck all the black people over? If you cared about black people, if you cared about your people, Africa would be fucking free. Africa have over 1 billion people in it worldwide. Outnumber the white man 11-1. How is it that Africa is being held hostage by white folks? But ain't nobody pointing the finger at the white man. See, FBA, you have no answer to get it free over in America. This is supposed to be your land. This is supposed to be your land, but you need the North Star during slavery to find out where the fuck you was going. You had to follow the skies. This is how I know we was Africans, because Africans know the motherfucking planet system. We know what stars are following. We've been doing that. Go check out the Dongan people of Africa, the original astrologers. Astrology. You try to say astrology was wicked because the Africans can read the stars and read the planets. That's what the Africans was doing in Kemet. So how the fuck you an Indian? If you an Indian, when you escaped from the slave plantation, you should automatically know where the fuck you was going. You had to follow the motherfucking dipper. You had to follow the North Star to get up north. Fuck is you talking about? You was doing African shit in the midst of motherfucking slavery. You said you getting the Holy Ghost when you at church. Some of the shit that you do, I see it in Africa. I see it in Africa when they go on these spiritual motherfucking worships. When they go on these spiritual rituals, the same thing I see you doing in church, I see it over there, but they really in tune for real. You paying homage to a deity that don't do anything for you. You paying homage to a white Jesus, the white man. You got no smoke for white Jesus, and he don't do shit for you. Yeah, black people, the history of being, relegated, to an inferior statue, it's got an ill effect, on black people, man. Today, no matter where black people are, there seems to be a conflict with black people who display emotional displeasure to see someone like themselves achieve. That's another thing, jealousy. The slave master created that. When I read William Lynch's letter, and he talks about, this is slave master William Lynch, he talks about how to make a slave, how to keep black people bickering among each other. That's what y'all are, William Lynch chips. You William Lynch AI. And jealousy was one of the tools that the white man used to make us jealous of one another. So when you see Sudan, or you see any parts of Nubia, and they show pyramids and all kind of things that Africans did and achieved, like Timbuktu, and they showed that big university in Timbuktu. African Americans got to run to a mound over here and try to make a mound in the Grand Canyon, defeat something that was built by the same people. Ain't no other, that's African artifacts. If you find Egyptian artifacts in America, that means that just should automatically tell you these are African artifacts. Facts. If you find the Eye of Haru in the Grand Canyon, them are African artifacts. Quit trying to take African history and put it with the Indian. Indians do not have the capacity and the knowledge at that time, and I'm not talking about the Indians to downgrade the Indians, but at that time, in ancient time, only people was building pyramids was African people, hands down. Even the pyramid that stands in South America, the 2 pyramids in South America were built by African hands down. So that's proof positive. When I started reading the Ivan Van Sertim book that came before Columbus, when I read all the data that they got in there, skull experts, DNA experts who what they call that, exclusion, excavates the exhumes of fucking coffin and find African people in there. How you gonna dispute that? What you gonna do with all that evidence? You know what I'm saying? All this African presence in America, how are you gonna dispute that? Then they was talking about in Timbuktu, Abu Bakr, who traveled from Mali, got on a boat to sail north and never came back. They don't know what happened. Those ancient accounts, you can read about that. Proof positive that Africans were already in America. So when you talk about we was already here, that's partly true. Because I read ancient texts of Pangea. Pangea is when, before the land became more water mass, when it broke away. They call it the Ice Age. When Pangea, when Africa connected to South America, it fits like a puzzle and the weather reflects Africa. So to me, the weather had to be very hot to bring about the human race. And the human race are melanated beings. We could not be melanated this black in North America. North America gets cold. South America still gets cold. Africa is the hottest place on the planet where you bring in the human race, which was black people. Anything else is kind, mankind, the home of man and mankind. We know for a fact that we 100% human if you melanated. You 100% human, and the blackest people on earth come from Africa. The darkest people on the planet come from Africa, even though they got different, very shades of color Africans. You can find the extreme darkness in black Africa. You see what I'm saying? These are the original people. This is your Adam, and this is your Eve. But much older than the Bible, much older than the Quran, much older than every character. Black Africans are older than every character in your Bible, in your Quran. Ain't no damn nigga Abraham older than no black people. Ain't no damn Moses older than no motherfucking black people. So you can stick them Bibles and all that other shit in the toilet. Cause all that shit hamper us. Religion hold niggas back. I can't name no time where Bible freed nobody. I can name a time when the Bible helped try to free people. That was Nat Turner, who used the Bible in Virginia, Hampton, Virginia, to turn it up on his enemies. Went around Hampton, Virginia, killing up the slave masters. You know, that's my kind of nigga. See, niggas can't think on that. All niggas think about is killing each other. I heard that FBA female say that Africans are tribal, and I'm like, damn, what is gangbanging? What is hating on another black man because he got some money and you ain't got no money? What about the black man who gets some money, think he better than other black people because they ain't got no money? That's a slave mentality. That's some goofy ass shit. What about the Africans in this country? I'm talking about black people or some of y'all Indians. What about the Indian black Negroes or the pretendians and black people in general? Why we hate on each other's rides? Why we talk about each other? Even the black entertainers who take these oaths and do these rituals with these white motherfuckers and get this kind of money, and when it's time to expose these people, you sit around and galvanize against the black celebrity. All day, you torture them. You love torturing black people. You hate black people. J-Lo gets a pass in Hollywood for being a hoe. She jumped from man to man to man, but Will Smith's wife, you hung her as being a hoe. You can't name no affairs but one affair she had. And you talk about her and Tupac. Tupac not here no more in the physical. What other aspects of Jennifer Lopez that she has not been a hoe to you? Because J-Lo jumped from dick to dick to dick. Married motherfuckers get back with them, and Hollywood uphold that because she's not black. But Jada Pinkett Smith, she's black. They got her as a harlot of Hollywood. But I'm looking at J-Lo, this a hoe. You feel what I'm saying? That's just what it is. When you black, you attack what's black. How many Negroes you know that got podcasts, black like us, and all they do is be black conservatives and talk about black people all fucking day? They get thousands and thousands of views because they talk about black people, and white people call these people very smart when they talk down on black people. Candace Owens is the smartest black woman in the world to white people. You know why? Because Candace Owens identify with the white supremacists and attack their own, which is us. She attacked George Floyd for the white supremacists. So when you Africans and you Indians or whatever you want to be, you Africans of the diaspora, when you're attacking Africans, you're attacking yourself. You're attacking other black people, whether they speak Creole, whether they speak French, whether they speak Swahili, whether they speak this bastard language called English. You worried about the word black. Don't call me black. You niggas look for convenient excuses to back away from going at that real enemy. You mean the word black? You define the word black as evil? We take that word black and we can apply black to something positive. We know Kemet means black. We know Asar means black. We know Kim means black. We talking about CHM, chemical. We know chemical means black. We know Krishna means black. We know Asar means black. We know nothing is created unless it go through blackness, darkness, and come into light. If you put a seed in the ground, it rotates in the ground in darkness to become vegetation. The true darkness is in the womb of a female species to bring about life, rotating 360 degrees as a cell in darkness. Planets in the universe come out of darkness, come out of blackness. Black means power. So we can take the word nigger and call it niggas. Niggas mean king. So we can take the word and flip it. Fuck what Webster Dictionary say about the word black. See, you Negroes still educated with a slave plantation education that's predicated on self-hate. You still hate yourself. How can you love white people? White people know you don't love them. You can't possibly love white people. You do not love yourself. You go out your way to hurt yourself. Suicidal race. We a suicidal race. Today, no matter where black people are, there seems to be a conflict with black people who display emotional displeasure to see someone like themselves achieve. Jealousy is deep-rooted in the black community. Jealousy is deep-rooted worldwide with black people. That's deep. I see some African people, man, from the continent of Africa being very disrespectful and disingenuous against black people of America from the diaspora. It's black people's fault from America that our ancestors was brought to these shores in chains. It's really my fault that my ancestor was brought to America or taken to Haiti, what they called Haiti, but it was sent to Domingo at the time. Is it my fault that Africans were taken to Brazil? Is it my fault? Is that why you don't like me? Because I was educated by a crazy ass slave master who raped the women and men and mutilated us on our ancestors on the slave plantation? It's my fault that we was taken from 9,000 miles away from Africa on ships that these niggas say that didn't come here, when you know there's a certain wind that you could catch out of West Africa and sail right over into South America and to the Americans. Do these niggas know anything about maritime skills? The Africans been practicing maritime skills coming all over the world, circumnavigated the planet on boats built by Africans. So, this self-hate is so deep, y'all, that black people in America has resorted to changing history, making up lies to shield the facts that they aren't African descent. They're Indians. They deny Africans are their kinfolks. They say Africans are not their kinfolks. But I told you about the Adam and Eve. The real Adam and Eve is two blue black people. From two blue black people, you get all colors on the planet. It's a spectrum. You take a rainbow spectrum, and you put all the colors together. What color do you get? But you say black, you don't want to be called black. You take every color on the spectrum rainbow and put them all together, what color would you get? Close your eyes. I love being black, black power. Yeah, man, these people are changed history. They deny Africans or their kinfolks, but amounts of empirical evidence that the slave trade did occur out of Africa into the Western world, such as America. The Indian Negro blot out the truth. There's mountains of evidence that suggest something came up out of Africa. When I saw those slave dungeons in Africa, they got about maybe 25 to 30 of these big castles. This is where they break the brothers and sisters and the kids on this island. Like, let's take Senegal. They got an island called Agori Island in Senegal. We know that's West Africa. I believe it was the Portuguese, one of these European nations, built these slave dungeons. These slave dungeons were built by the water on the shores of West Africa, where the English could come on ships and haul away brothers and sisters and children. This is how the slave trade went down. The Gory Island, that place, they call it the door of no return, because once you go through that door that leads to the water, the Africans do not return home. We know Great Britain bought the boats into America. They keep saying they don't find boats from the American slave trade, but Great Britain was America. This was the colony of Great Britain. America. America went to war, won its independence. Everybody clap their hands because America won their independence. But as soon as the black man want to stand up and fight for independence, shoot him down, kill him, hang him. Black people don't like him because he want independence. Black people don't like her because she trying to fight for her people and she want independence and stand as a nation like every other nation. Niggas don't want that. Niggas don't want to be independent free. So that's why they bicker among themselves, because if you wasn't bickering among themselves, you'd be getting together, putting a plan together to overthrow the disease on our planet. We outnumber white people, other people 11-1. Don't get it twisted. We are the majority on the planet. Black people are the majority on the planet. We outnumber Caucasians 11-1. And we still ain't moved. So when you come with the Pan-African thought of uniting all your people, that put fear in the white man. And that's why the white man, if you practice Pan-Africanism and you true to it, they got a bullet for you or a jail cell for you. Nelson Mandela, a Pan-African, what happened? To St. El Overture, a Pan-African, what happened? Marcus Garvey, a Pan-African, what happened? The same nigga plotted on him because Marcus Garvey had a vision of seeing us independent. See, what's wrong with that? I hear FBA criticize Marcus Garvey, but Marcus Garvey did something that you couldn't accomplish, and you living in 2025. He had his own company of ships doing business with black people in South America. He had his own business. What is wrong with you, FBA? What's wrong with Marcus Garvey want to see black people totally free when he say, stand up, mighty black race? Accomplish what you will. How come we don't have a black army? How come we don't have a black hospital? You got to go to the enemy hospital where they kill your ass at. If you're a black celebrity and you talk that shit, you don't come out that hospital. Tell the truth what happens to you. You die like Twitch, right? You die like Tupac when you start speaking the truth, right? Because they feel they paid you, nigga. Just shut the fuck up, entertain. So, these people want to change history, man. They want to blot out the truth that the first people on our planet was indeed African, who populated the earth. I can prove America is not Egypt. The FBA had lost their fucking minds, y'all. They are AI in their mind. They are AI in mental capacity, acting like how the slave master programmed them. That's what I mean by AI. You practice your hate towards other black people, how the slave master programmed you, you AI nigga. Get up off of it. Get off the internet till you have a plan to go at the people who made you hate black men, women, and children. You still hate yourself, nigga. How the fuck you free? Talk about you know the truth. You a motherfucking Indian. And you scared to admit that the Mexicans is who you want to be. The Mexicans are the Indians. The motherfucking Eskimos are the fucking Indians. So you are related to Shawnee tribe, Tecumseh. I read about Tecumseh. Tecumseh wasn't black. Tecumseh wasn't African. Crazy Horse wasn't African. He was not African. Of course, you had a $5 Indian, Caucasian. That's your $5 Indian. You trying to say the Mexicans and the Eskimos are $5 Indians. The $5 Indian is the white man and woman. When the government was giving out land to the Indians, the government told white people, if you want free land, say you a motherfucking Indian. Tell the truth. You trying to say the Mongoloid is a $5 Indian who came from Siberia. You say that's the $5 Indian. That motherfucker that you see on the side, used to be on the side of the Redskins helmet. The Washington Redskin helmet is them motherfuckers. And they raped your foremothers and you became Black Cherokee. I'm just giving you the real tonight. So I don't care how you view me, how you talk about me. I study. I've been studying since the motherfucking 90s. You can't fuck with me. Late 89, 90 is when I started studying. I got the books about the crooks. When I got locked up, I read consistently. I read every fucking day. I buy books. I bought books from an African bookstore that I had mailed to the prison. Some books they wouldn't let in. I've read where Africans were already in this country back in the 90s. I got heat. I got a book right now. Where that book at? I got the heat. I got the heat, nigga. I got the heat. I got where they copied. The white man was intrigued by Africans. Here's our falcon. That's the symbol. That's the symbol for Kemet, and they copied it and made the eagle their symbol. You see what I'm saying? That's why they got our artifacts, pyramids on the back of the dollar bill. See, I've been doing this shit since the 90s. You know, this is in Washington D.C. Where you see that at in Kemet, you know, that's the Tekken. They call it the obelisk. The Washington Monument is a carbon copy of African Egyptian shit. See, ain't nobody, why they ain't got no Indian shit up here? Why they ain't got no Indian shit? Why the white man ain't intrigued by Indian shit? This African shit. You feel what I'm saying? This the Zodiac. You wouldn't know shit about the Zodiac if it wasn't for the African Egyptian. Get out of here. I ain't no motherfucking primitive. I ain't no motherfucking primitive. Fuck, I look like building TPs. Here's African writing, the Meta, where they got the Rosetta Stone to make a Bible, and they undermine Egypt in the Bible because they know Egypt was the place that they got their knowledge from, but they know it was black Africans on the Bible. They made Egypt wicked as the African Egyptians had the Israelites in slavery. But when you study the real history of the African Egyptians, they never enslaved the Israelites. Nigga, fuck your religion. Fuck your religion, get free. You know what I'm saying? I got the proof. I've been doing this shit for a long time. These are Africans. You know, these are the kings that ruled ancient Egypt, nigga. You feel what I'm saying? I got the proof. I got the proof. This is an old book. I've been having this book since the 90s. You know what I'm saying? I got more books. I had to go through my library, and my library ain't down here. All this shit they copied from the African Egyptians. Lincoln Memorial Monument is copied after King Ramses. Not Ramses of the Bible, they stole that. Yeah, this is, you know, this is the temple of Queen Hatshepsut. That's her shit. That's on the penny. That's on the penny. Why the white man Masons not intrigued with Indian shit, but African shit? This was found in Mexico. These heads were found in Mexico. These are Africans. I got the proof. I got the books. I got the receipts. So, you niggas is acting according to how the white man programs you. You know, AI capacity. Mental capacity of the AI, you know, the slave master programmed the slave, but they say the slave trade didn't happen, but they acting according to how the Klan raised a slave to hate self. It's cowardly to hate black people, but have no smoke for the Neanderthal who made a freak and a slave out your people. Africans on the continent was colonized, not only physically, but most of all mentally, to think like they colonizers. Africans' education on the continent is a Western dominated education. The average African in Africa don't know African history. The average African on the continent of Africa doesn't know its own history. Because the colonizer made a subservient Negro to go against self and the people. Man, grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. And I don't give a fuck if you don't like what the fuck I'm saying. The truth hurts. So all this bickering and going back and forth, wake the fuck up. Peace and black power. Share this video, y'all. Share this video. Peace and black power. I'm out of here.